Welcome to part 2 of my 2 videos on how to take care of your mental health during this crisis. In video number 1, we've discussed Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the mental health practices that will help you address those needs. So if you haven't watched that video, make sure you do so after you finish this one. I will leave a link to that in the description. And in this video, I will share 11 easy and yet very powerful practices that have been helping me with my mental health throughout all of this. And don't forget that there are 6 other practices in the other videos, so to have the full picture, you have to watch both of them. Again, the link will be in the description, but we have 11 practices ahead of us. Let's get to it. Practice number 1 is meditation. I've been meditating for quite some time now, and it really helps me get out of my head and gain perspective on things, because I tend to overthink things and get lost in my thought process. I'm a very creative person, so it's a rabbit hole, but meditation has been wonderful for that. Everyone's practice, everyone's meditation will be different, I believe, and I think that there's no right or wrong way to meditate. It is a practice, and we're all so unique, so of course different things will suit us in different ways. I use Headspace, the app, for my meditations, and I do them in the morning as part of my morning routine, which again, I have a video about. I will leave a link to it in the description. But that works for me, and if you'd like to look through the different apps that are out there for mindfulness and meditation, I've created a whole list of them. So you can find that, you can download it using the link in the description as well. Practice number 2 is journaling. Journaling has also been a wonderful way to get out of my head and really process things with myself. So for example, whenever I have ideas, emotions, feelings, thoughts that I need to really talk through, I can journal through them. And it is wonderful how relieving it feels when you get things out on paper. And my journaling technique is just a free flow. I just say what's on my mind. Sometimes I write 1 page, sometimes I can write up to 5 pages or whatever. I do whatever I need at that time, I do. And of course, journaling is also very, very unique and very personal. So your journaling might not look the way that mine does. And all you need to do to understand what works for you is to start doing it. Google journaling prompts, pick up a pen and a paper and start doing it. I'm sure you will figure out what works for you and how journaling can benefit you and your state of mind by doing that. That's the only way to do it. Practice number 3 is writing affirmations. Affirmations are statements affirming something about you or your life. They help us focus on the positive aspects of a situation, and they can also help us get a very empowering perspective on the situation. Affirmations may feel weird at first, and they did for me, but I now use affirmations and I write them every single morning according to what I'm going through, according to my needs, and I adapt my practice as well, based on what I'm going through and what I need from it. So I'm going to create a video on affirmations and how I do them very soon, so stay tuned. But if you can't wait, just Google it. Affirmations is a thing. I have not made it up, and I really hope that it will help you. Practice number 4 is taking breaks. Just because you can continue working nonstop doesn't mean you should. And in fact, it's been scientifically proven that taking breaks has benefits for our overall well-being and also to productivity. But sometimes we have to be intentional about them. And taking a break can mean anything, from getting up and going to get some fresh air to just pausing for a second and focusing on your breath. Practice number 5 is creating boundaries. Learning how to create boundaries is very important, and it takes a lot of practice, but it is vital. We need to be able to create boundaries between work and leisure, between the projects that we take on and that we don't accept, and also boundaries for our relationships. For example, creating a boundary between your work and leisure time can entail creating a schedule. So for example, you are online and reachable until a certain hour, and then there's a non-negotiable time after which you are offline and you're spending time with your loved ones, or you're focusing on your personal growth, personal development, or you're just being with yourself and just enjoying your time because you're human and you're alive and you need to do that. Or it could also be a physical boundary. You could create a workspace, a dedicated workspace that associates with work and only work there. And normally we would have offices for that, but since we're all working from home, we all need to figure out a solution for that. So you can create a dedicated workspace where you only work. And that could be even within your bedroom. Let's say you can't escape your bedroom, but you can put a table in the corner, or you can put a chair that you sit on your bed. You sit on your bed and you work on the chair or something like that. You can figure it out, but this place physically associates with work. That is a physical boundary. Or another example of a physical boundary is getting dressed into stuff that is, I guess, more formal. Doesn't have to be a suit, it can be jeans and a t-shirt, but then changing back into your leggings or your sweatpants after you're done with work. That also creates a physical boundary. Boundaries are very important because they help us filter out the noise and focus on our priorities in life. However, creating boundaries entails saying no to people and opportunities, which is sometimes way harder than saying yes to them. I mean, always way harder than saying yes. I'm currently working on another video on how to create boundaries and say no to people in a nice and a graceful way, because saying no doesn't have to be negative. It doesn't have to be something bad. We can say no in a very beneficial way for both parties. So I will post that very soon, and in order to stay updated on that situation, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Practice number 6 is giving yourself grace. I don't know about you, but I am very demanding when it comes to myself. I have very high expectations of myself, and I can be very harsh when I don't meet those expectations to myself. And I've been learning how to replace that inner critic for a kinder voice. However, I feel like it's especially important these days, right now, because we're all experiencing a spectrum of pain and emotions, and we can't operate under the normal conditions and the normal expectations of ourselves. It's okay not to be okay, and we need to create time and space for ourselves to process those emotions, to really respect that experience that we're having right now and honor it, and make sure that we understand that what we're feeling is valid and we need to feel it, because we can't just brush it under the carpet and pretend like things are okay. Things are not okay right now, and we need to understand that and give ourselves space and time for that processing, essentially. You are human and you are wonderful. And unfortunately, our inner voices are our biggest critics. We are our biggest critics most of the time, and we say things to ourselves internally in our heads that we will never tell our best friend. We doubt ourselves, we undermine our abilities, and all that stuff. Try to replace that inner critic, that inner voice, for a kinder one. Try to talk to yourself as if you would to your best friend, and see how that feels. Practice number 7 is change your environment. If you can go outside and go for a walk, obviously following social distancing best practices, do so by all means, because you will change your environment, you will get moving, and you will get some fresh air. And that is so important for your mental health. If you can't go outside, well, you will need to get creative when it comes to this practice, because, and trust me, I understand, we've had over 2 weeks of total quarantine when we couldn't even go outside, even to the grocery store. We needed a police note that we could only get twice a week. So I get it, it sucks. But you can get creative, right? You can find new perspectives and new places all over your house. Think of it as a fun scavenger hunt. I remember I used to sit next to the bed on the floor, and it would be my little nook whenever I would get tired of my normal working place or something like that. There's so many places in your house or even in your bedroom that I'm sure you can explore and just sit there or lay there or something like that, that will change your perspective of even the same room and change your environment physically to an extent. Of course, it will never replace the actual changing of environments and going somewhere else. But hey, we all have to deal with what we have and take advantage of what we have. And hey, you can look at it this way. You can make it a challenge for your inner child to find the best place in your apartment to build a fort. Practice number 8 is exercising or moving. There have been countless studies that proved that exercising or moving, getting your blood flowing, really benefits your mental health. So take advantage of it. I know it's difficult because, well, it's a little demotivating when you're just staying in one place, when you're staying at home. Some of us can't even leave our homes, right? And also, some of us are very used to having a gym and having the equipment. It's like, where do you even begin working out at home? Luckily, there's so many YouTube videos and apps and other resources where you can find exercises at home. And a lot of content creators, when it comes to fitness content, are creating free content for you to work out at home. I've actually been using an app that I paid for. It wasn't a free app, but I've been using it for almost a year now. And it basically gives me exercises to do at home because I've been living this nomadic lifestyle. And yes, I've been using Airbnb gyms for cardio, so I had to adjust there. But when it came to my resistance exercises, I've been using this app and working out from home for almost a year, and I'm in the best shape I've been all my life right now. So it is possible to stay in shape while being at home. So try to move regularly and you will feel better. It's that simple, but you have to motivate yourself. And it is not about your waistline or your appearance. This is about your physical and mental well-being. Practice number 9 is getting some sunlight. If you can go outside while it's sunny and get your face, your body in the sunlight, do that by all means. Try to do that. And if you can't leave, or if you don't have an opportunity to go outside when it's sunny out, try to get your face in the sun from a window or something. I used to do that when I was at university. Just try to get some sunlight on your face or on your body on a regular basis. It's crazy how much we need sunlight, and I haven't done enough research on this, but I'm sure there are countless studies on the effects of sunlight on mental health. And I just know that it works, and I'm so much happier when I see sunlight on a regular basis. In fact, during the 2.5 weeks when we couldn't leave our flat due to the total quarantine, we actually blocked our calendars with my boyfriend because our balcony used to get sun for 2 hours. So we would block our calendars so that we didn't have any meetings or anything and no engagements, so that we can just sit on that balcony and hang out in the sunlight. And it was so important, and it was my favorite time of the day. Now we're able to go outside, so we're going on long walks and obviously following social distancing, best practices and everything, but we go on long walks, and oh my God, it helps me so much. It stabilizes me so much, and it lifts up my mood. So if you can get into sunlight, please do so. If you have to reshift your calendar, and if you are able to do that, by all means, do that. Practice number 10 is practicing self-awareness. I think that there are countless benefits to practicing self-awareness. By being more self-aware, you understand and you love yourself more, and you accept yourself the way you are. You also understand how you react in certain situations, what triggers you. You understand, you see certain patterns in your behavior, and you understand how your behavior will affect others. It's been proven that improving your self-awareness, and yes, it's something that you can improve, and the more you practice it, improving your self-awareness helps you improve your emotional intelligence and therefore makes you a better leader. There are countless benefits for practicing self-awareness when it comes to your personal development. How can you practice self-awareness? Meditate, journal, notice patterns in your behavior, and really dig deeper into them. Why did you react the way you did? Why do you feel the emotion that you're feeling? And all that stuff. Basically, understand the root cause of how you function and the patterns of how you function. That has been how I've been practicing my self-awareness, but I'm sure there are countless resources online where you can find actual exercises on how you can improve your self-awareness. So just Google it. And finally, number 11 is creating rules about reading the news. The news are rather negative and sensational these days, and reading them too much, consuming that too much, can have a negative impact on your mental health. So it's important to set up rules around your consumption of the news. Yes, it is very important to stay updated on the situation, on the best practices, and how you can keep yourself and your community safe. But it is also important not to obsess over every single headline, every single breaking news. Create rules on when you read the news. So, for example, every day at 12 p.m., I can get updated on what's going on around the world. And then I won't check my phone. I won't check the internet, my resources that I normally check until 5 p.m., for example, right? So that you have a chunk of time when you actually are not consuming that content. And if you can avoid reading the news first thing in the morning when you wake up, please do so, because a lot of the times that negativity is impacting your mood and basically the rest of your day. So if you can create rules around your news consumption and not consume them in the morning, that will be wonderful for your mental health. So there you have it, 11 different practices on how you can take care of your mental health while self-isolating while we're going through this crisis. And don't forget that this is video number 2 out of 2 videos on mental health advice, or at least things that help me. And in the previous video on part 1, I shared another 6 practices and we went through Maslow's pyramid of needs. So if you're curious to learn more about that, I will leave a link to that video in the description. Go watch it. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments which practices you are practicing already, and share this video with a friend of yours who might benefit from them. Like this video if you've enjoyed it, and let's be friends on other social media as well. You can find me as Coding Blonde. Have a wonderful time of the day you're currently experiencing. Bye.